This is the Startup Social Podcast, your inside look at the awesome startup world. We get real with local founders and business owners who share their toughest challenges and biggest wins.
All right, this is Daniel Griggs with Startup Social Podcast. As you know, I don't do intros when we're talking on the show because there's music and stuff that comes on before that. We already know the intro. But I'll tell for anyone that's the first time listening in, we like to interview all of the awesome entrepreneurs. Today we got Jana, I forgot it that quick, Peled.
Good job.
There we go, because you said nothing big, straightforward, nothing too fancy with it. But Level 12 Salon.
Yes.
And there's no intro for Jana. When we started talking, she was like, I don't need an intro. Everyone knows about no, I'm joking.
No, I did not.
So, Jana, you're originally from California, right?
I am. I'm actually was born in Texas. And
really?
yes.
I didn't know that.
So
What part of Texas?
Houston, Conroe, to be in fact, but we moved shortly after and actually lived in Utah and then went to California.
How was Utah? I'll put it like this. Every time I see something on Utah, I see something of Utah like on Facebook, because everything on Facebook is real. It's like beautiful.
It's real. It is beautiful.
Like that?
It's beautiful.
Like colors and everything. And trees
yes,
and
I think it's prettier than the pictures. It's
really?
stunning. Mm-hmm.
So you went to Utah and then?
And then I went to California at 20 and lived there for 16 years. And that's where everything began. And then came here 5 years in October.
So Level 12 Salon, were you at a hair salon?
I was, the same hair salon, Bob Roy Salon in Manhattan Beach. And he actually closed after 56 years, just a year ago almost. So it is a long time, yeah.
So let's track back. How were you always into like doing hair?
Yeah, cut off all my Barbie doll's hair. Got in trouble. My mom grounded me for literally cutting off the neighbor's bangs. And I remember running, but I had a hair shop when I was a little girl in my salon.
Really?
In my house, in my room. But yeah, I've always just known I wanted to do hair. And then 90210 came out and you're seeing all the actresses do their hair. And I'd go in and I'd practice them. I just always knew that's what I wanted to do.
So when you got to Texas, what made you start Level 12 besides the fact that you like doing it?
Well, we decided to move here and I actually thought I would be more of a mom. I thought I'd have another kid and just, sit back. And then I realized, okay, maybe I want to do part-time. And then, Austin was kind of not behind, but a little bit compared to the rest of the cities. And I searched and I just kind of went around to a lot of places and I realized I knew change would happen and I just wanted to be a part of that change. So I started doing house calls, got really busy, and a very good friend of mine told me, why don't you do a mobile salon? And I was like, no. Then I went to bed that night and I woke up and I was like, you know what? This isn't a bad idea. So that kind of gave birth to our Level 12 mobile salon, which is a full service salon. And then I decided I like to be around others. I don't want to be alone. I like people. And so then I was like, I want roots. I want a foundation and I want to kind of spread that and make a team and a family and things that I had in California that I necessarily, I wanted to find it here. And so that's kind of what created Level 12.
So it did start off, so you started off doing it out of homes?
I did. House calls.
So it was a mobile before it began being an actual?
No, I actually went to homes. I literally went to homes and they would get in the shower and wash their hair. I mean, it's kind of when California, you do a lot of house calls. You don't have probably space for a mobile salon out there. That's something that I don't know if I would have done in California, but maybe it could have been a niche. Out here, I just thought I want to bring luxury to their doorstep. Yeah. And that we can still, the one great thing is they want to be washed. They love getting their hair washed. Everybody does. So that's kind of why the mobile salon I thought would be a great luxury at the doorstep without them leaving.
So what's the process is that as a mom? It
is a big step.
Because what you mentioned at first when you came in,
I'm gonna have another 5 kids. I'm gonna be a mom. And then I just realized, something was supposed to happen here. And I love my industry so much that I knew it would change here because our industry is changing in general, but Austin is one of the fastest growing cities. It's going to change. Change is happening, right? For every industry. And I just wanted to be a part of that change because I knew it was going to happen. And I knew something bigger is coming. And, you know, I wanted to put my dreams into action here. I think that's probably why we were meant to come here too.
And how many years ago was that?
It'll be 5 years in October.
5 years.
Yeah.
So you go from house calls, the mobile, well, when I say mobile salon, did you already have I've seen it. I've never been inside of it, but I have seen it. Yeah. That's what you had? Like you started off with that?
We know. I mean, little stuff happened, so it delayed, but we actually didn't get our mobile salon done until the doors of our salon opened.
Oh, really?
So unfortunately, it didn't work out the way we wanted, but that's how it happens usually. Yeah. And so we ended up having both right at the same time.
So how did it go with when you opened up? I mean, I'm pretty sure you already had a big clientele when you actually opened up the physical location. What was the process with that? Because now at the same time, it's not just you, but you're hiring on other.
Yeah, it's hard. And where we located our first one, which is in Lakeway, Texas, there's a lot of growth there. It's hard to find a lot of people to work for you. But it was being very, due diligent and finding the exact team that I wanted. But it took time, and it was worth the wait. I have such a killer team. One thing about our community, and I will say even just with Austin, is you got to give them love and they give it right back to you. Yeah. And it was just all research and really hunting it out and putting a lot of work and love into it. Yeah.
Because I know in just like a background snippet, I know Jana.
Yeah.
And her husband Gil, because we used to all be in BNI.
Yeah. Yes.
And I think that was actually around the time that y'all had started everything.
Yeah.
It was actually like only a year after I started my business. So that's how we know one another. And you began it, but it's very popular.
Yes.
In the area.
Thank you.
And you're talking about because the point that I'm trying to go back to is that you're talking about building relationships in the community field, which is huge. A lot of people don't really understand that. I think because of the internet, now everyone wants to be like big because you can reach a whole bunch of people. But if you can actually capture a community of people, it does great. Because I've seen this deal the other day, and a lot of people say it, especially with because of the internet. I say this, and I got
media,
I got a web design company.
Which is huge too.
But here's the deal. Word of mouth is like the strongest form of any marketing.
Yes.
And so I'll see stuff and people be like, oh, you don't want to live off of word of mouth. I understand you always want to have different ways that you have to market and things. But if you can actually scale word of mouth, it is great. And I think y'all done an extremely good job with the Lakeway area and then just spread throughout Austin. Which you have a second location?
Yes, we are going into Bee Cave. We've done so well, and I feel so blessed and grateful to see that. But we need more space. Yeah. And so we now have decided, why not create more of what's done so well, especially when we have clients we've turned away and we have people that want to work for us. I just feel like I got to go where the iron's hot and keep it going. So,
how do you feel?
Tired, really? Just kidding. Exhausted and tired. And 10 cups of coffee. I'm just kidding. It's one of those, you're tired, but then it's things like this that you're just like, it's paid off. It's just, it makes it worth it. Like being tired and all that, but I love what I do. I cannot express that enough. I feel grateful to be paid for it. And I feel like I get to do a hobby every day. Yeah. So and I work with such a great team. They are the reason why Level 12 is why it is. It's not just me. It's my family behind us of just stylists, and they're incredible.
It makes it a lot better when you're surrounded with people. So all the great things, if you can mention, because we do like to give people
the dirty, the bad.
Stuff. Yeah. Ups and downs.
Ups and downs.
If you can give us something specific that you feel is ups and downs.
I think with what we do for a living, we work in such a beauty industry. Yeah. And I think there's the good and the bad with that. I think, my biggest motto in our salon is people pay for their feelings, not ours.
Yeah.
And I think that is a thing that I really try to put into my team to realize if someone's not happy or if they're not upset, handle it with grace and handle it with customer service, because at the end of the day, they pay a lot of money for their feelings and how they feel.
Yeah.
So I will say on the other end of that, that's really hard. Sometimes it gets hard to deal with and it drains you, but I have to remember that as well, is that at the end of the day, they pay for our bills. These people that come in every day that we're so blessed to have and grateful to have, that this is about them. It's not about us. And that could be a huge thing when you deal with a ton of women. And, it's a challenge a lot. And then it can be a challenge on my team to not, get upset if someone's upset. And I think as a boss, that's hard because I don't have just my clients' issues. Yeah. I get a whole salon of issues. But I'll be honest, we just handle it the best way we know how. And I will say that is just probably one of the hardest aspects of the job in this industry.
Just creating the culture around everything at the shop, that is tough, because I know
dealing with people. It can be hard. It can be great and it can be rewarding and it can be so draining.
Because I won't say as a stylist because I don't know anything about that. But if I had to relate it to like our industry, right? If I have a designer that creates a design for a client and it's like, this is perfect for them, it's great, blah, 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 and then they want to switch the whole thing around.
Yeah.
It's like you say, it's about their happiness and what's going to work for them.
Yep.
But you have to take your own personal feelings out of it.
You do.
And it's hard to relate it to other people.
So hard, but that's why I literally have a motto. They pay for theirs, not ours. And that's where you have to just put your feelings aside. It's not personal for us. It's you do your best job you can. And if it didn't, or communication was off, that's what you need to work on, is make sure over consult, sit with them. And I talk in circles. I probably talk too much, but I'd rather know what I'm getting into. Yeah. And I want to hear the good, the bad, everything. What do you want? What you don't like? And I'll make you tell me 10 times before I go back there.
Do you still do hair?
I do, yeah.
You do?
I'm behind the chair probably too much. No, just kidding.
That means you enjoy it enough. Yeah,
I do. I probably am behind the chair way too much, but I try to cut back a little bit to give more to the business. And I love what I do. I love being with people and I love clients, and they really become part of your little family.
Yeah. So do you believe in balance?
Of course. I would fall apart.
How do you balance between everything at level 12? Yeah. Everything with family.
Family comes first. I think I take the back seat to everything. And that is my husband, my kids, my home life, then my work, then my staff, my clients. And I'm probably the last person. But I'm okay with that. That's just kind of my little personality. If I have the extra time, which is very rare, it might go to doing a little bit of stuff personal to keep me going. Yeah. But really, it's just, I got to be there for the kids. And in the beginning, that was hard because you got to build a brand. Yeah. And the kids, I do think, took a back seat, and I did the best I could, but I had to build and create this foundation to get it off the ground. Yeah. And that was a few short years when they were a little bit younger, and I decided I wanted them to do that. Wanted to do it while they were younger instead of older, because younger, they don't have all the sports yet. They don't have that until they get younger. I don't want to miss that stuff, but I still wasn't present as much as I could be.
How old are they now?
They are 8 and almost 6.
8 and almost 6. Two boys, right?
2 boys, 2 tanks.
We got 3. We have 3 boys and 1 girl.
I know.
And it gets
crazy.
It gets rough. Yeah, they're not in sports, but they are in sports because they wrestle, punch, jump, choke each other out the house. Yeah. I don't know if you see when I posted on Facebook, one of them busted his head wide open. Oh, back of his head, pushed the other one off the bed, and hit his head on it's like a hardwood stand.
So you just put those football helmets on for the morning and take it off before they go to bed.
I know. It's like I have to treat y'all kids some different kind of way. Put y'all helmets on. Yeah, it was.
Oh, and boys play so rough. Half the time I'm running out of the house to be like, "Are you okay?" And then I turn around, they're like breathless, laughing, and I'm like, "Oh, that's normal. Okay."
We had a friend come to our house before, and she was having anxiety because they were like jumping off stuff, grabbing each other, kicking each other,
and they're laughing.
Me and my wife was just like.
This is crazy. And I'm sure we did that too. I think I hardly put shoes on when I was little. So, I get it.
No, I understand that. So with Level 12 Salon, because I like to really give people, I like that you mentioned everything about the ups and downs per se, creating the culture, the family balance with everything. What's one of the, we'll say specifically if someone wanted to open up, like your path is different, like how you opened up your actual store, your physical location.
Yeah.
If it's someone that did want to open up a physical location, what's some advice you would give to them? We'll get more specific with it. Say specifically to a woman that has a family.
You know, you're right. Balance is huge. And I think when you open any, you really have to give your all in the beginning and still balance all that, which is a lot of lack of sleep. Yeah. My biggest advice to anybody is just do your research and give, like, literally wherever you're going to go. I mean, I've seen a lot of salons not do that. And unfortunately, you know, it's one of the things I think is a downfall. But, you know, anyone going to do all your research, understand the people that are in your area, understand in a circumference what kind of clientele you're going to get, what you want, and give back to that community. And also get to know everyone in your community. I mean, that was such a bonus for us. But with that being said, that is being involved in the kids' school, getting to know that. Somehow along the way, you can kind of combine both. Yeah. And I think that helped me too, because my kids are in school. I got to know the school. I did things through that. And that's where you can kind of make both happen. Mm-hmm. But, you know, if the kids are smaller like mine were, you just... You know, that's a hard one. It's such a hard one to say.
It's tough.
It's tough.
You kind of gotta just like...
I feel like that is a phase of being numb. I don't even remember. Like, it's like when you're pregnant, you know, like you do it again because you're just so forget what it was like, the blur phase. And it is. I mean, my kids were there. They were right there with me. If we were doing something in the salon, I was like, hey, let's do this. Let's go. You're going to help me. And then I turn around, there's fingerprints everywhere. And I'm like, ooh, okay, you go to the car. We're going to clean this off. But, you know, I think you kind of have to get them involved too. And they know, like my sons know what I do. They know what I own. And they, you know, my oldest literally would walk through school and one of the teachers would be like, I need my hair done. He was like, oh, you need to go to my mom. And so that's like, I think just involve them. Yeah. Let them understand. And I think if they understand what you're doing, that definitely is the answer to help making your life easier.
Yeah. My son, this is about, I think like 3 weeks ago, we were at home, 2 weeks ago. I can't remember. Anyway, we were at home and he had these papers. I was checking his backpack, which is very difficult. I'm gonna put it like this. I'm actually creating something for teachers for this. Sending home a backpack with papers, I'm not even gonna lie, it sounds like it's simple, but it's very difficult and tedious to check it every day and go through stuff and mark off and all that. But anyway, he brought some papers home and was sitting down checking them, and he was asking some stuff, and it was like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And he said a web designer. Honestly, they know a lot about what I do. He really didn't even know what a web designer is. But he knew, he was like, that's what dad does. So it was, I'm not even gonna lie, I'm not an emotional person. Come here.
That's awesome. Because you gotta wonder what they think, you know, what do they see, what they think. And I think the fact that they even talk about it or say it means that you're doing something right. Yeah. In my mind. If they can understand it and he can say, go to a teacher and this, like literally overhear a conversation, be like, my mom's got you. Yeah. I'm like, she had to literally drive to son. Like, I have to tell you the funniest thing. Your son is totally pimping you out. I was like, this is awesome. He worded that very well.
You're going to have his hand out asking for some commission on it sooner.
I know. I was like, listen, we're going to secretly put flyers in your backpack. I need you to go into the school and just put them in all those teacher mailboxes. So they're going to let you buy.
That's good, though. It's good because, I mean, of course, you know, kids pay attention to everything.
They do.
So it's good to be able to have them pay attention to that. My children it was during the summertime actually, which was hell. This summer was so difficult for me because we had a lot of new things we were doing with ATX, and then we just had our newborn. So my wife and the newborn at home, and she's out on maternity leave. Then both of our boys are at home because they're out for the summer. Our daughter is still in daycare, but then during the summertime, there's at least about 2 or 3 weeks that she's just at home. And it was so hard to concentrate and get stuff done. I wasn't coming to the office as much because I was at home trying to help out with the newborn and my boys and all that stuff. But anyway, they were asking me, they're like, Daddy, why are you on your phone and your laptop and all this so much? And I was like, when y'all are at school, this is what I'm doing. You just don't see it.
You need to create a kid podcast. It would be so great. It'd be, seriously, they say the funniest things. And sometimes, seriously, it'd be awesome. Like, what do they see? What do they see in the world? What through their eyes? Like, it would be so neat.
Yeah, probably would, because they soak in a lot of stuff.
Yeah, they come on with questions. I'm like, you know that? They said that in school? Like, what?
It'll surprise you. So what's the next goals for, I mean, of course you got the locations opening up.
Yeah.
What's the next thing, the biggest thing for Level 12?
Level 12, I feel that we've created a great home of where people know about us now, and especially in our area. And I think my next goal is, which was so great, so even starting with this podcast, is getting more known in other areas, because we can travel. We have our mobile. But one great thing is you can have your salon, but there's so many even as a boss, like just so many things I can do that I would love to be, the next level of just steps and recognizing. And so I think that's it, getting this salon off the ground, and I guess we'll see. I mean, really, I feel so consumed by that.
Yeah.
And we just got our building permit, so we're excited to start that soon.
Nice.
Hopefully this week or next week.
It'll take a while.
Yeah. I wasn't, that's the hard part of that.
Yeah.
This is that dance again. It's like, oh no, okay, let's do it. But it's all worth it. And I think, I don't know, we have a lot of good possibilities coming. And, we've talked about a business life coach. We've talked about some things to just see what is the next level. Like I said, go while the iron's hot and,
nice.
Do some more things and all over Austin.
I like the community part is so huge, because I said to make the decision this year that will be the household name in Austin when it comes to web design, mobile app, and things like that. And that was the biggest part, because we didn't really, solidify it. We didn't really say that. But then when I started to think about it, I was like, of course, we have two locations, Austin and Miami. And we have a lot of clients in a lot of different places, but the majority of them are in Austin.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Austin is, so I talked to a guy from California, and they wanted us to do a project for him. And I had to ask him, he's about Silicon Valley. I was like, why are you talking to us in Austin? I just asked him, and he was saying that Austin to him is like the mecca for web design and all that stuff. So that's going to make a decision, but it's the same thing that you're saying. When you build such a huge community for things, it takes a load off of you, because as long as you always keeping a really good reputation, this is going to continue to spread and continue to get good.
Yeah, I would love to do some, coaching and just maybe some stage presentation. I feel there's enough people to go around, and I think there needs to be more positivity in our industry amongst salons and salon boss owners, and just there's so many people. Everyone can succeed in this. And I think it's your path of how you go about it. And I think there's a lot of steps that people miss, just going back to the basics, customer service.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, my motto and what I live by is those clients pay for them and their fillings. And I think so many times we forget that. And I just think there's a way to help others, and I'm all for it.
Yeah, I think you got a lot to tell, especially a lot of anybody that wants to be an entrepreneur anyway, business owner, their own boss, but especially with women that have a family.
Yes.
It's tough.
It is tough.
It is really tough.
Yeah.
And so just going through all that is can be
But we do it for them.
Yeah. There's a lot of things you sacrifice at the beginning, but ultimately, like you say, you do it for them. They start to learn and be paying attention the whole time themselves. So, talked a lot about you. Now, I want to talk more about the things that Level Salon does. So, this is mobile bus.
It is a full service party. No, I'm just kidding. Party bus. We will take you to your destination. We don't have seatbelts, so hopefully we don't get pulled over. I'm just kidding. Wouldn't that be great? Just stay. We're gonna strap you in here. We're gonna take you there.
It can turn into that, but it's nice. We're gonna have to bring it up,
stuff
on the video part of it. But tell us more about that, because I know you did like weddings, and I've seen pictures.
Yes, we've done girls' nights, weddings, proms, and those young girls love it. They always feel like, oh my gosh, MTV just rolled up or something. And you're like, okay, this is so great. I even laughed if someone could have a GoPro and if you could see everyone's reactions as they walk in, but like hundreds and go back to back, it would probably be the funniest little footage because everyone does this like fall back like this. Oh, wow. Oh, because they don't expect it. We custom made it and it's a full service. It's like wood paneling, chandeliers, wine bar. It's 2 stations. Yeah. So they can basically do color. Right? Color cut. I mean, it's very comfortable. And the only thing it hates is Texas summers because let's don't forget it's a car.
Yeah.
So you come in and out and that's the one time I'm like, what can I do to convince you to just come into your house? Or you're like, can we get you here? Because you're going to hate it.
So weddings and events. What's other, of course, services all has to do with
So
that?
you can do full hair service. You can get your color and color. My whole concept of doing this was for someone not to leave their house. Compared to California, a lot of people don't want to leave their house, whether, they're filming something or, or traffic alone. Like they just don't want to. But to get a bus around on those streets would probably be, majority would work out, some wouldn't be hard. So my whole idea was like, this is great. The one thing about here, I will say it's just kind of more turned into an event bus because people are like, it's fine. If I can't get the appointment, I'll just come in to Salon. Because it's also, that's a coordination. That's a huge thing of like, I got to drive there. I got to drive back. Okay, let's got to plan this time. I mean, it's a kind of a day.
Yeah.
So I love the girl parties and girls getting their colors with their friends, color cuts, all that. Or you have a glam night with your girlfriends and they go out, or you have a wedding, or you have prom, or you have, I have clients that, have been like literally gotten out of the hospital and they can't leave their house. And we just pull up and they're able to get their hair done. And that was that's been really nice.
A whole experience.
Yeah, it's a full service. So you can really have anything. Photo shoots, hair and makeup, anything. It's at your doorstep.
What's one of the most difficult hairstyles you had to create? I'll start with one of the most difficult ones you had to create. If you could describe,
as in like a style or like a color disaster. What are we talking about here?
Give me the style. What's one of the craziest styles?
Craziest. Oh man. I got to go back to years of I've been doing hair for so long.
Something with spikes, something wild. One of those, you see fashion shows and they have their hair some kind of wild way.
Well, I used to do the Conair commercials. And I will say one thing is you had to use their tools and they would come in and they would find the models that were like the craziest, worst hair. And I remember I would just sit there like, and you sure I don't get to use my tools? And they're like, no, you have to use what we sell, which was actually nice to know that they actually, you had to use it from behind the scenes. So they actually work. They really work. I'll give them that. And it was so fun to be on those commercials, but I swear that was probably some crazy hair, but to create,
awkward like this, transparent moment. Has there ever been anything someone came in and asked for?
Always.
You can't do that. Always.
You have the Kim Kardashian's level 1 hair. They're like, I want to leave platinum. And you're like, this is one thing I tell all my staff. I'm like, it's okay to say no. Because one thing I'll tell you about clients is they will never forget you if you mess up their hair. But they will forget you if you say no. And I'm like, we call it in the hair beauty world,
the platinum color?
Sweat stash, because you're in a situation, your lip just starts sweating and you're like, okay, these are good dreams, but if you can't go through all the phases, it's just not, I would rather tell you no. So I always am to my staff, please, if you do not feel comfortable, say no, and it's okay. Because I think they would appreciate it. And then you get into this and now our whole team is on it.
Is that based on like a color someone wants?
Oh yeah. You always have the dark hair and I want blonde now. Like now. And you're like, get a wig. I can lead you to the wig shop because it's not going to happen. Like, do you want short hair? Because we can do it, but
The platinum color, I know what you're talking about. I've seen it before.
I always say patience. If you can have, and I think majority of people actually stay in your chair because they respect that. There's a few that have been like, okay, I know, and we all know they're going to find somebody, but they'll be back. because their hair's going to fall out and it's going to be a disaster. If you got all day, but even all in one day, it's too much for the hair. It's just too much. And you got to know when to say no.
It's too much. I want you to educate me on that because I don't. Are you talking about the chemicals and stuff that you put?
Lightening. So basically, you got to take pigment out of the hair. To become blonde is taking a color, and everyone's like, color molecule and pigment out of the hair. You've got to strip it. So you're taking out integrity. You're taking out everything of that hair to get them in all in one day. No.
So they probably see stuff on TV and it's probably something.
Oh, of course. It looks, I mean, you do have the Kardashians. You do, I mean, if you're going to spend time or celebrities that are all of a sudden, they're platinum, but do they really talk about the process behind it?
Yeah.
No. And they also stay hidden until that hair is perfect, right? And all of a sudden they're out because they spent 10 days on that hair.
Yeah.
You know, to keep the hair and the integrity great. And that is something I don't think your average client, if you're not a celebrity, is going to want to deal with, or the money. I mean, every step is cost you money.
Do a lot of people do it anyway? Like in your industry?
They try, yes. And I do feel majority cases go really bad and some go great, but I feel most clients are willing to put in the patience because you got to over communicate. Communication is everything in a chair.
Yeah.
That's why I say I always run circles. I will say it 10 times and make sure you understand where I'm going before I leave, because you want to tell them, I don't want to destroy your hair. I don't want to break off your hair. If you don't care about your hair, I do. So it's my name. I don't want to do it.
Yeah. Because from the way you're talking, you educate a lot more than just.
So when I started, I've been doing hair for so long, almost 20 years. Can I say that quietly? When I started, one thing getting out of hair school, people, they wanted to teach you to do hair that they couldn't create at home. Because that gets people in your chair. If they can't create it at home, that's your money ticket, right? Because they're going to love you because you're doing something they absolutely can't. We now live in an era of they better be able to create it at home because then they love you for it. So we now have the tools and everything that is available to your clients. You want to show them. It makes you that much better of a stylist to make sure that they leave with everything they need to create what you've created. So I've lived through both times of going through that with them. And it's great because they will leave with everything, all the tools, all the products, all the stuff that they need and knowledge. And that's why I always overtalk it. Like, if you don't know how to curl your hair, here's the curler. I'm going to watch you. Show me. And I'm going to tweak your hands or whatever you're going to do. Or, you know what? This is why you missed that step. It didn't work out for you. Our job is to give them everything possible so they know that every penny they spend in our salon is worth it.
So you ever have people call, this is like my education time now. I'm curious about things. You ever had people like calling you?
Yes.
Like, hey.
A FaceTime. In fact, Kim, you know Kim Pfeiffer.
Yeah.
She had to leave and go to, I think it was the Lake Travis Education Foundation. I forget what event it was. I think it was their big gala, I want to say. And she didn't have time because she was one of the chairs. And she was like, oh my gosh, I have the curls. I'm like, leave and pinned. Go do what you got to do and FaceTime me. FaceTime me and I'm going to walk you through it. And she was laughing so hard and she did it perfectly. I was like, no, brush, spray, brush, spray, clip. That clip, not that clip.
Really?
And, and she was even like, you got to get a hairdresser. And I'm like, because we're here to make you look perfect. And whether we're with you or not, we're going to teach you how to do it.
Man.
I mean, I'm all for it. Please call me. Yeah. If I can't be there, I'll virtually be there.
I can only imagine somebody like panicking because their hair is a mess.
Yeah, but there's so many easy steps. The great thing is FaceTime today. Like, let me see. What did you do? Okay. Do you got glossing drops? You need that. Do you have glossing spray? Comb, brush, hairspray, freeze it. Pull it over to the side, freeze. You know what? Just put some extra lipstick on. You're going to be fine. I'm just kidding.
You got to record one of those. Those sound like this.
She did. I think I have the pictures. There's the video somewhere. She recorded. I didn't expect it. But I was leaving the salon. I was in my car and I was like, okay, take him out. Now brush. And she's like, okay, like this. I'm like, yep, no, tease that one. Now brush it. Now smooth it. It's, the one thing is they have that mirror in front of them. So they do ask questions because they feel so glamorous when they leave and beautiful. And I have literally had husbands come into me and be like, I should have never paid for counseling. Had I known my money would have been more spent here and what you did for my wife and how you make her feel, I would have never gotten a counselor. And to me, that is like, I've had husbands come in and hug me and it's it like makes me emotional.
Damn, we're gonna start up a level 12 reality show.
They have to agree to that on taping. I'm just kidding. But I always feel that is like one of the best compliments I could ever receive. And because you don't just fix the hair, you fix the inner too. Yeah. You spend that time with them. And I mean, I give them all my time. I mean, I'm sure many people out there know I'm not the most punctual sometimes, because I'll give you my all in each time. And that is probably my biggest flaw.
Is it hard to really get someone like, do they have a vision when they come in? Or do some people have a vision when they come in and then some people don't?
People do. And then I think when they get to building that trust, then they do trust you. Like, oh, hey, I'm doing this. Or what do you think on this? Or, hey, if you could do anything, what would you do?
Yeah.
And I love that, because I love when creativity I can play with. And I will say, compared to California, this has tested me on so many levels out here. I love the hair world out here. I feel like when I first opened up, so many people were either damaged or just the hair color was bad and the blonde wasn't right. I mean, it was my biggest challenge. And that tested me on so many levels, but made me such a better hairstylist. I think I grew so much here. Mm-hmm. And I go back to California and meet my salon family there, and I tell them all the time, I'm like, y'all would love me now. I'm so much better. I'm just kidding. No. It tested me and I loved it. It was a challenge. I went home. My husband can attest to this. And I wouldn't even want to talk. I was so drained. I was just, what was brought to my table was just like, and we have a huge water problem here. I mean, so many things came in effect that I was just like, oh my gosh, I'm drained.
Is it more demanding in California or Texas?
I don't know if many will agree with me on that. I think way more demanding here. Again, along the same lines. I think a lot of people didn't love their hair. You know, in California, they would never leave their hairstyles. Out here, it was like, it's okay, or I've always never really liked it. Or I get panic phone calls like, look, I've tried hairdressers for 7 years. I'm about to go back to Houston. I'm about to go back to Dallas. My husband thinks I'm crazy. And then all of a sudden I do their hair and that husband's like, oh, that's what you mean? Oh, I see what you're saying now, you know? And just the repairing of hair here, you know, it was my biggest growth period. And I'm grateful for that. Mm-hmm. But, you know, it was a lot.
So give me if you had one, what's the craziest situation you've ever had inside of the shop? Oh my gosh. Have you ever had a woman go crazy? Like, what the? So she's going off about something?
Yes, I had a situation. I had a really good one that I literally was like wanted to lock her out. I left at 2 a.m. Of course, that's when he's like, oh my gosh, what's going on? What's going on? I'm like, I have a situation. We did her hair and she came in. And again, I don't know background on her, you know, if there was something more underlining. I don't really know. We did what she wanted, you know, because again, I over communicate. And this is why I'm always like, it can backfire too, because then they come in. She came in, if I have to recall, this was in the beginning, and I remember all this story. She came in a week later and was like, I have this event. My ex is going to be there. And I just think I want a little more blonde. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, okay, let's do it. So we do it. She showed me this picture she's carried in her wallet forever. I'm like, okay, this is weird. It looks like a picture. Okay, well, we'll add more blonde. No big deal. Let's do it. I want you to feel good for this event. Your ex is coming. I get it. So we do it. All of a sudden, she's like, oh my gosh, it's too blonde. I was like, what? And I think I added like 10 points. I was like, oh, okay. Then she goes back to talking about the color that I just took out of it. And I was like, I can't do this. This is madness. This was at like 12 at night and I have this new assistant with me. And I literally looked at her. I'm like, please tell me you still want to do hair. This is the world we live in. So I basically said, all right, that's it. I'm going to put this color back in your hair. But after that, I need you to go because it's late and you're running in circles. And at this point, I don't know what to give you. Your hair can't take this. Yeah. And I can't do this. So we do it. I'm not going to put the same color that I just took out of it. She goes, that's great. And it was 2 a.m. And I was like, and she went and I went to go take our robe off, but she went to hug me and I'm not kidding. I turned the music off. I was like, I'm gonna make this so uncomfortable for her. Like I was so upset. And at this point I was like, she doesn't get music. Turn it off. And so we sat there and we're pacing and she's literally looking at my assistant like, you know, I I mean, I feel like she's upset. And I'm like in the back, like, oh, this is crazy. Morning? This, by the time we ended, she thought I was going to hug her. And I was like, no, give me the robe. I just need you to go. She kept talking and I shut the door and just locked it because at this rate, I could not deal. It was, I don't know if my husband remembers, it was the artist that wanted to trade with artwork. And I had a red flag from the get-go and I should have ran with my feelings. And at that point she was like, okay, so do you want artwork? I was like, no, don't even pay. You just need to go. Like, I don't even care. I can't do this. Cause that's the thing is like, sometimes even if you communicate, you just don't know who you're dealing with. And you have to just at that point, okay, we're gonna do this one more time. And then this is not working. You're not welcome back. I mean, it's too much. It's too draining. Oh, it was so draining. Morning. I literally came home and I looked at my husband. I was like, I don't care if there's a bad review. I don't even care. And he looked at me, he's like, well, you should. I was like, I don't even have anything to say right now. I'm like, this was never going to go great. And of course it wasn't. She tried to send me this nice text. And I was like, hey, all's fine. I'm glad you had a great wedding. And I'm glad you felt good seeing your ex. I just think it's best if you find another hairstylist. So I knew we're good. I did what I needed to do. So, there's 4 people in my career I'll never forget. That was number 4. Yeah. I always said this. I looked at the assistant and I said, there will be women you will never forget. Never forget. And there's stories. Just know that you will have that. And don't be deterred from that because this is just dealing with people, and there's so much good and the little bad, but it's honestly, you have to learn from it. You have to know where it went wrong. You have to. And that is my biggest thing with everybody. I'm like, if you messed up, do you understand where it went wrong? And if you did, I'm always okay as a boss. Like, how can we learn from it? How can we grow? And if you did learn it, it's when they don't know. That's hard for me because we have to know that's how we can grow from it. Yeah. So with her, I was like, no, she's just crazy. And I'm done.
You got the experience though, so you never run into them again. At least
that was a good one.
Nice. So, Janet, thanks so much for coming to the show.
Thank you for having me.
How can people get in contact with your website, social media?
Yes, our website, which actually we need to work on, speaking of. We desperately need to work on. And we're in the process just because of going through, we're trying to switch it up a little bit. Plans I have in my brain that need to come out to fruition. But Instagram is a huge one for us. A really big one for us is Level 12 at Level 12 Salon. Mm-hmm. And Facebook, huge one, calling us, but yeah.
Nice. So appreciate you for coming on the show.
Thank you.
Startup Social. I almost messed up the name of it. I mess them up all the time. I say social startup. Sometimes I say startup social. Startup Social podcast and show. So thanks, Jana, for coming out.
Thank you.
We'll chat with y'all next week.
Awesome.
Good.
Thank you so much for tuning into this week's episode of the Startup Social podcast. You can listen to us anywhere podcasts are available and on our YouTube channel. Make sure to visit our website, startupsocialtv.com. Until next time.